Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of The Aspiring Entrepreneur. I'm your host Hamza Chowdhury, and today I'd like to talk to you about the #1 vaccine leader in the world, Moderna. MRNA is the stock symbol. But before I do, I'd like to ask a favor of you. If you could like and subscribe to the channel and help support us. We offer 100% free content. We don't sell anything on this channel, so your support is crucial to keeping our channel live. And if you could share it with your friends and family, that'd mean a lot to me. And feel free to add some comments. If you have any questions on the video, if there's something you'd like to see, feel free to add it. So let's just jump right in. I have Moderna on my screen here. And what you'll notice is recently, in the last couple months, we had this massive run up, almost touching $100. And the stock has been sort of downtrending. And I mentioned in the last video that Moderna is actually my favorite stock to short in the pre-market. And what I normally do is you'll find the pre-market high, and there's always a good 50 to 75 cent flush, in some cases even more, like today, for the stock. And it's just been a great stock. It had a lot of news. It was one of those, trade the rumor, sell the news, and it has paid dividends. And recently, about a few weeks ago, we hit a low of about $54, and it was kind of like, where's the stock really going to go? And so, as you can see here, we traded sort of on this lower Bollinger Band starting here on this downward channel, and then we hit sort of a low outside the Bollinger Band at around 54, and that's when we actually saw a trend reversal. So we essentially went up from the lower band, we moved up, and guess what this line is, right? So we actually started hitting the 50-day moving average, and we used that as resistance around the $70 range. So we hit it, failed, we hit it, failed. So this was a great strong resistance in the $70 range. And then an article comes out. So this stock is really sensitive to news. So if anything comes out, I don't recommend shorting it overnight. I don't recommend holding on to any shorts in the stock, because any article can make it go. So when I shorted, I'm very sensitive to the time blocks that I'm trading at. I try to make sure that if there's going to be any anticipated news, and I'm usually trying to cover frequently. So that's the key to shorting stocks that have this sort of, again, trade the rumor and sell the news, is that you're getting involved when the news is out, and then you're basically shorting the pops. So what was interesting today is that most cases, and here's my 1-minute chart on Moderna, is what was interesting today was that we actually did not flush from the news. So we had the news come out yesterday, I believe it was after hours, and so we had this initial pop when the news came out, that it was shown that Moderna there was like no side effects in elderly people, which is obviously great. And so we had this pop, and we hit this pivot around 75, and then we sort of rejected it, and we kind of hung out around the 73 pivot, which is a weekly pivot, and then it consolidated and then sort of sold off today. And in most cases, I've traded Moderna, throughout all of these channels. I've seen what it does, and today it was really kind of slow and grindy, and it was slow and grindy for a reason. So, if you were to short in the pre-market up here, like I said, in the pre-market highs, you can see that we were constantly just bouncing up and down. So we had a high, and we went to a low, we went to a high, we went to a low, we went to a high, to a low, and it was just really choppy. So that's really the definition I like to use for choppiness, right? Is when a stock is just really going all over the place and it's hard to trade. So what I found was that it was really a setup. So I like to cover frequently, like I mentioned earlier, and there's a reason for that. So what happened was, if you come here, is once the market opened, which it opened at 6:30 Pacific time, look what happened. So the stock actually started off as low as 71.60. So again, getting back involved at 74 for a short, you're probably up at least 2 points before market open. But look what happens, guys. This is what I love about the stock market, right? Is you can have something, you can get involved, up here at the opening, and within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 minutes later, you're trading at $75. That's a 4-point swing in 5 minutes, which is, almost about a 7% return. So obviously, does that mean you're going to ride this completely? Well, you knew that. Guess what? There was on the 15-minute chart here, there was this pop that we had on the initial news, and Moderna was simply testing that pre-market high. It squeezed out some shorts, and then what did it do? It did exactly what I mentioned in the last video. It sells off. So we have this run up, And then for the next 6 minutes, guess what we did? We just sold it all off. And then we tested it again. And this is usually when we retest, this is the safe time typically to short when you do get the validation here. If you're afraid of sort of jumping in front of the train, you can always jump and wait for the retest. And when that fails, then you can jump in for the short. So you can short back here at the 75 range, and then you can cover here for a point or two, depending on your risk management plan. And you can also look that we were overbought here, and then essentially you can look for the oversold, which is when we start to get down here. And then so what was interesting too, again, back to the stock, is guess what it did by the end of the day? By the end of the day, this thing went right back to what? Right back to $70. You know, so again, it closed yesterday at $70.52. It popped at 75. It failed again, like it always fails on any pop of the news, and it came back down to $70.50. The only stock I know that no matter how much it pops, it always comes back. So I've been caught in that short trap before, and I've just been patient, and I've waited towards the afternoon, and it tends to flush down. So hopefully some of you guys capture that move. And like I said, it actually ended up closing, you know, just really where it started. So, you know, with that, again, Moderna is our leader. We do have a trend reversal here. We are now trading above our 50-day moving average, and we're using it as support. And you can see now that the top end here of the candle for today of the high hit the top end of the Bollinger Band. And then you can also see that the Bollinger Band is starting to point upwards. And for the upper band, that means we're going to start seeing a bull. And I'm not surprised that the bulls are going to start coming into the stock and pushing it up. And as the RSI rises, because obviously this is the vaccine play, and we're really, and everyone's anticipating in the world, right? We need this vaccine play, and everybody's been waiting for it. So with that said, guys, that's all I have for you today. And let me know your thoughts below, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Have a good way.